Hello friends, I hope you're all doing great. You must have seen the video where I rock the altar and many of you wonder how I managed to get so many bloodsucker stones. Yes, I have already raised my altar to level 70. If you somehow didn't watch the video, be sure to watch it. You should understand how many stones you need in order to pump the altar from level 60 to level 70, including progress. Today I will try to answer this question, but let's start with the fact that these stones are very important in the game because they help you to raise your game indicators very much. You probably all know that bloodsucker stones can only be obtained from the heads of the heroic mode. That's why I often say that you would only go farming the heads of the heroic mode. We currently have two altars in the game. These are the equipment altar and the hero altar. At the hero's altar you will need to donate weapons or pets, and at the hero's altar you will need to donate hero shards. I'll say right away that you need to upgrade the hero's altar only when you have extra fragments, or if unless you decided you want to show Atreus, for example, then you can safely donate the fragments of this hero. Bloodsucker stones are following progression. If you play on higher chapters, then more stones will fall to you. For example, in the 32nd chapter of the heroic mode, you can choose 9 stones, but in the 16th chapter of the heroic mode, only 6 stones. Before moving on to analytics, I ask you to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps the development of the channel. Thank you all, but let's start, guys. In this video, I conducted an experiment to understand where the best place to farm bloodsucker stones. I understand that all of you can be on different chapters and with different levels. My main goal was to analyze which chapters are the best for farming. You know what, we have boss chapters, where if chapters and also chapters there's with floors 30, 40 and 50. I took options like boss chapters, wave chapters and chapters with 50 floors. All these chapters are in different dozenes and everyone can choose for themselves the one that suit their needs. The test considered in the fact what I went through each chapter 20 times and now I understand where the best to farm. I took such chapters as 23, chapter 24 and chapter 28. So friends, let's start with the first tablet. It will be the 23rd chapter of the heroic mode. It has 50 floors. I will say that the result seems very cool to me. I managed to knock out 64 bloodsucker stones in 20 games. It turns out that on the average a little more than 3 stones fell out for me per chapter. There were such as rings where I finished the chapters without not having a single stone. You see the plate in front of you. In terms of comfort, I didn't really like to farm in her because 50 floors is a lot and took a lot of game time for me. But overall, I was happy with the result. Okay, I think it's time to move on to the next chapters. The next chapter that we will analyze is chapter 24. Once again, in order to get bloodsucker stones, you must definitely farm only the heroic chapters, guys. In terms of comfort, the head of the quite good. It has only waves and not many bosses that I can take a lot of time. By the time of the passage, this chapter will be passed faster than chapter 23. And then I was very surprised because I saw how many bloodsucker stones began to fall to me. The tablet is presented on your screens and here we immediately see a comparison with chapter 23. The result is very amazing. I managed to get like 101 bloodsucker stones for 20 times passing the chapter, which is 37 stones more than in chapter 23. The results turned out to be very cool, and the average drop stones of bloodsuckers is obtained somewhere around 5 pieces. Thus, it turns out the chapter 24 brings much more stones than 23. And in terms of time and comfort, it was also better than 23. The difference is already very noticeable, friends. Well, friends, now let's talk about the third chapter that I had in the farm. It's chapter 28. I must say right away that there's only bosses. I don't like at all. But the chapter is not easy and you have a big chance to die from the bosses as they hit very, very hard. By passing the chapter, you can go through quickly enough given there are only 10 floors. It takes very little time, and in our business, it plays a very important role. And you are already presented with 3 columns of data. And then I was even more surprised when I saw that the figure also increased. Now, in 20 games, I managed to knock out like about 110 bloodsucker stones. This figure was higher than in chapter 24, but the progression was not as large as the difference between chapter 24 and 23. So remember this, please. I was very pleasantly surprised by 28 drops. It goes by very fast in time. Well, there is a small minus of this chapter, since the drop of game stones is reduced at times. Well, conclusion, friends. So, comparing 3 different chapters on the road, I see that it's the best to farm 28th Heroics Mode chapter. That is, the chapters are where the bosses are more comfortable to farm. It takes a little time, the number of mobs is reduced to a minimum, but there are more bosses. As everywhere, there are also disadvantages, but if you set yourself to the goal of quickly pumping the hero's altar, the equipment altar, then you should still focus on the chapters with bosses. So you should remember this and everything will be cool. If you have forgotten which chapters these are, I will remind you. These are such chapters as 7, 14, 21, 28, and last one 32. Choose a chapter that you can farm easily so that you don't have any problems with it. So guys, I hope you really like this video, and in the near future I'm gonna shoot a new video about which chapters are the best to farm clothes, because you will definitely need this and it will help you a lot. So, friends, tell your guys, homies to about this video, put likes, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. For this is I will be very grateful to you. Thank you all. Bye bye, guys.